game, obviously. What a great way to start the season. We've been just preaching the defensive side of the ball, and I was really, really pleased with the way we responded defensively, both in our man defense and in our zone defense. I thought that our commitment to getting stops on defense was really very much improved. We got off to a slow start offensively. You know, at one point, it was I think there was like 8 minutes to go in the first half, and it was like 8-4. I thought, gosh, we really only have 12 points total on the board right now. But it was, you know, that sometimes happens in your first game with the jitters and that kind of stuff, and we just weren't in the flow of the game. And I thought our rhythm got much better. We obviously shot the ball better in the second half. We couldn't buy a basket to start the game, but I thought we played through it. And throughout that stretch, we showed a lot of fortitude on defense. And you know, if you're not going to be scoring very well, you've got to play on the other end of the floor. And I thought we did a great job of that. So really pleased with our first game. And, you know, you're looking at 3 people who were major, major contributors to that.
Shay, talk about just, there was that stretch in the second half where they had, if I'm not mistaken, I looked up, it was 36-33, and then I looked up again, it was 43-33. You know, you guys went 7-0 on them. And after that, they were just climbing uphill the rest of the night. What did you guys say to each other, think about when they were staying so close?
I think we just had to break away because we didn't want the game to be so close. Earlier, before we started playing, Coach P she said that she didn't want it to be like a game where it's like a last shot, you know, like it's so close that like we had to be so frantic. And so I think that we just had to pull away, and we did. So.
Coach, I got a question for you. Preseason material, video taken here at the department. You said a couple of things you were looking at. You were looking for some senior leadership. You got it tonight. It was 12-12 first half. You got over here, hit a three-pointer in the corner, make it 15-12 pull away, give you a little bit of a deal there. End of the first half, Shalonda took it down and pretty much tied the game by herself there at those high-pressure free throws.
Yep.
Talk about your senior leaders.
Well, it's just awesome to have it. You know, these guys, and especially like Honesty and Kyla, they're fifth-year seniors, so you know they have been through this for 4 years already, and so just the comfort level that they have in the system that we play, and also the experience, and then the comfort level that I have with them, I think is a big. I don't know, it's just a big advantage to have. And then, you know, you have somebody like Shay, who's in her 4th year and has a ton of game experience. I mean, she's just played about every minute of her career. So, so she, you know, so she really has a lot of experience as well. And this is something that we've been missing, you know, that over the last year, just a group of people who, you know, you can count on game in and game out, and that have the experience and the wisdom and all of that to understand and communicate to the others how we want to do it. And so what a great night that these 3 were the ones that stepped up and played so well.
Kayla, you filled the line. Kyla, you filled the line for 14 minutes. You had the 7 points, 4 rebounds, assist. That's a nice line for 14 minutes. Is that what you try to do, make the most out of every second?
Absolutely. I never know game in, game out what my role is going to be that day. So I just, whenever Coach Pete calls my name, I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, I have a follow-up to what he said and what you said as well. The other thing you were looking for in that preseason video was the senior leadership, the chemistry you were really looking for these girls too. And again, the first half, you know, no offense, the buckets weren't falling. Shalonda, you were going to the hole. You guys were working it. You were moving the ball a lot, but the shots just were coming, and there was just a little bit of a click. So a couple plays, you guys would stop and talk to each other, like explain what we were doing. Second half, you're at the top of the key. You're swinging around and grabbing it from her, and it almost looked. You had these eyes going, like you knew exactly where each other wanted to be. So Kayla, could you tell Kyla? I'm very sorry about that.
She's been doing this for 4 years.
Sorry about that.
You know what they need to have? They need to have the phonetic.
Okay. Well, let's talk to her about that.
To her credit, I think it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going to say we're some type K.
Okay.
As long as it's not Kayla, I'm fine.
Yes, Kyla.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Kyla, and then Honesty, could you guys just talk about the chemistry you guys are having out there on the court with the rest of the team now?
Yeah, I know. When I was that play you were talking about, I was coming off, and Shay was bringing me the handoff, and she handed me the ball, and she said, "That's your shot, Kai," and I just knocked it down. And I knew that she had the confidence in me to hit it, and it made me feel much more confident shooting it.
Yeah, and I think our chemistry starts off the court. Like, we hang around each other all the time. Me and Shay are roommates, so we're always together. But I think on the court, I feel like we trust each other a lot, and we know what each other are going to be like before they're there. Like, and we talk a lot before the game. Like, now we've never really talked. I feel like we always stop and we help each other and we talk when somebody breaks down. Like, and I feel like that just builds our chemistry because we start to trust each other.
And when we do break down, it's all positive comments like, "Hey, you know, we got to do this," or whatever. But a lot of times in the past, it's been very negative, and that just helps keep everyone up.
You guys are headed into a very challenging stretch now. You know, you got a couple practice games under your belt, a good season opening home victory. Talk about this stretch coming up at Ohio, at Illinois, at Nevada, and 2 games there. You guys looking forward to this, or getting out of Dodge a little bit? I mean, maybe just a wee bit. Shay, let's start with you. What do you think about this upcoming stretch? All good teams, all good teams.
I'm excited. Personally, I don't really come into games and like believe of like, I mean, I respect people's past, you know, their history as a program, but a team is beatable any day. I'm not saying that I don't respect them. I'm just saying that I have a confidence in my team that we can beat anybody. I just do. I don't know.
And I think, you know, I want to chime in here. Looking at last year's record and last year's schedule, and I've always said to them, on the road, at home, sometimes I feel like road games may be a bit easier because we're taking them away from school. They seem to get more sleep. I mean, it seems like that's all they do. They sleep in their hotel rooms, you know. So in some respects, yes, you're traveling, but it's a bit, I think some respects it takes away all the distractions. So I've never been a big believer in, God, you know, the road games are so much harder than the home games. I mean, it's the same game. We still got to play defense. We still got to play offense. The court's the same. You know, the environment is a little bit different. And if you look at our last year's schedule, we had the exact same home record as we had on the road. I just think that, you know, we need to understand that it's about how we play. Wherever we go, whether it's here, it's on the road, it's about how we play. And, you know, I'm looking forward to having this stretch coming up. It's going to be really good for us.
Honesty, Coach P's, her last 2 groups of seniors all left this school having, right? It would be your last 2 classes of seniors would both have had one experience in the NCAA tournament, right? This has been your last year. 2 groups.
3
We have
groups.
2, yeah.
3 groups. This will be the 3rd group because last year's group will be the 4th group, right? Yeah. Last year's group, and the group before was Shanita, and the group before that was Kaylee. So this will be the 4th group.
Now, you guys have experienced some of that, but do you feel like, you know, now that you've sort of established a pattern for the program, a mold, do you feel like this team at the end of the year are you confident that you could join those other teams, shall we say? Or is that way too early?
We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And we said this year that we feel like this is a great year. Like, we talk about it all the time, that we just feel good about this year. And we know we have a long way to go, but we think we can get there.
That was so fun.